Good evening, and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the thing show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so called African American didn't find his or her way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One. But why would they do this to us? This is something that we always say, that we always talk about. Why is somebody always doing something to us? Or we don't believe the things that are going on. Oh, they couldn't be that bad. Your whole history is bereft with people taking advantage of you and showing you no respect. But it seems like we can't understand what's happening to us, what's going on, and other people are not doing anything. That's what we want to go get in tonight. And this stuff is right in your face. So I don't understand when we always pretend like we don't understand what's going on, or they wouldn't do that. So we're going to just show some simple things that we see every day, that you see too, about things that are going on with us. Especially, remember, you have this country being filled from north, south, east, and west, surrounding you. What you gonna do about it? Joining me tonight, as she does always, is the Accomack godchild, one of Accomack's finest, y'all, Miss Lisa Cypress. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, how you doing? Glad to be back. It was you know, a grandchild attack. Had to endure again. Still trying to build up my immunity with these children. My daughter says I'm doing better, or at least she said I'm looking better. I could say I'm still not feeling better, but I am feeling better, but I'm not best. I'm not my best, but yeah, I'm getting there. So faster rebound, that's good. That's all good. It was fun. We went to the mounds, like got my oldest daughter and my three grandkids up on the mounds. They loved it. We saw, I think I already talked about this. I don't even know if I got to talk about it. I guess not. One snake up close and five turtles. So they got to see, have a real, my oldest one said, I want a nature walk, G Lee. We had a real nature walk. He nearly stepped on that snake. We were real with the nature.
And those of you guys who are by mounds, check them out. The kids will love them,
Yeah, they had a ball.
and you can
They
learn and
loved
you can
it.
learn a lot too. Lisa, can
Yeah.
you share what we're going to do next week?
Oh, well, I spent the remainder of the weekend sharing the process of repatriating your people with Carrie. So we spent no joke, like 12 hours of, straight pretty much. Just me going through all the stuff that I've, composed and to change identity and also to create, the whole process of like looking at his genealogy and looking at um, the people that lived in his, great grandmother's, you know, town, county, region, and finding those names that vibrate, that seem to make sense, that have a history, that also coincide with his lineage and bloodline. Also, then modifying the paperwork to go along with that information that we found, looking at laws and information that are related to those Indians, and just the whole thing, just everything from enrollment to affidavit. We we did that last week, and we're going to share that next week. I'll share the process of what is done, because I mean it's either do it or don't do it, because really there's not really not much time, and there's really not much else that you can do to really change your condition other than that. And if you're not going to change your condition in the real way, then what you doing? What you waiting for? What you doing? So I mean, it's time to do it. it's very it's a lot more work than I thought it would be, just the fact of just sharing information. But the work is worth it and the process is worth it. It's an ongoing thing. It's a life changer. It's a responsibility, no doubt, but it's the only thing that's going to actually change things for your people for like generations. It's a life changer, not just for your generation, but for the oncoming generation. So there's nothing more worth your time or effort than that. Anything else that you're doing is it's a waste of time. So, so we'll be sharing that next week. That should be very interesting. I'll get myself geared up. Oddly enough, the slides that I created to help him show his family, a lot of the images have disappeared off the slide. I thought that was really bizarre. Like we had that issue happen while was making them, and then like a week later, even the PDF that I sent him, which is very weird.
Can I share something with what you said?
Yeah, yeah.
You guys want to check this out next week, because what you learn when you hear all these other names that other people are saying, you're going to know that all this causing is confusion, and we want to show you what we mean by that. It's like in the last video, I said, look, now I'm not trying to be an asshole, y'all, but damn, this shit is right in your face. Everything that's happened to us would be reversed if we just thought right. Just thought right. So when she show you how you connected to these people, you're gonna be like, God damn. And you've been calling yourself everything around the world. Now the foreigners are here listening. I understand you're from another place. You're trying to get in and try to be with the people here. I understand. But the indigenous people here, I had a lady came in today, damn near 80. And I just showed her how to do this Tuesday. And she came back and mapped it all out just by being around her family and asking friends of the family. She figured it out. So don't miss out on Lisa's presentation next week on this, because you're going to be like, I know. So, okay, Lisa.
And then you realize that you've been see, we always make things bigger than what they are. Oh, everything, and I'm so guilty of that. I always think I'm a procrastinator for real. And I really think that things are always bigger than what they are. Oh my God, I gotta clean that stuff out the backyard. Oh, that's gonna be too much. I don't feel like, oh my gosh, it's gonna take so much. I gotta load up the truck. I gotta go to the dump. And then it just seems like everything seems like it's gonna be bigger than what it is. But then when you actually get to the work, you realize, dang, that didn't take that long. It wasn't that bad. It was pretty easy. Same thing with this. In your mind, this seems like a monumental task. In your mind, it seems like something that you don't, you have to do X, Y, Z, all these other extra steps that you are imagining must be done before you can get this done. But it's not true. Just get started. Just do it, as they say. All right. So, what are we talking about today? Ja, 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 ja. Okay. All right. So, because we're sharing the screen, I guess. Let me figure out what I'm doing here. Oh, yeah. I'm going to get back to this. Oh, I want to do one more thing. And so, all right. We got to make that big. That's major. Major. Okay. Okay. All right. Is my screen being shared? I don't know. Hello?
Yes, your screen is being shared.
Okay. I haven't looked at the program. Let me look at the program. Okay. All right. Now, family, the thing that the biggest problem in Indian country is that it's really hard for us. Like you may show them, oh, look at these images or look at these books and look at these drawings of the Indians, and they'll be like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. And you might show them William Strachey's book and tell them, oh yeah, he wrote that we had big lips and all this, and they'll be like, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. But the real thing that they don't understand is, but why? But why? But why would they do that? Well, I don't understand. But why? And they still be thinking about, what's his name? Who was the Tonto? They still be having, in their mind, they sitting there, they're looking in the back corner of their eye, thinking about Tonto and shit. And they thinking, just don't make sense. I know with Tonto and Sitting Bull, they didn't look like Uncle, they didn't look like Uncle Henry or Uncle James. And so that's the thing. So you got all this other stuff. And the other thing is, people don't really even believe that that we're actually being attacked constantly. See, why? Why would they do that to us? They understand Tulsa. They understand what happened with Tulsa. Oh yeah, that was horrible. They'll understand what happened with Lake Lanier. Oh yeah, that was terrible. Oh, Oscarville. Oh yeah, I know all about that. They know about Rosewood and all that stuff. They know it. But somehow they think that stuff. Oh, they know about what is it else? The Tuskegee. Oh, that was just horrible. But then when you try to say, well, why? What about now? Like, well, what about why you trust this? Why you trust this shot? Why do you trust what they're doing now? Why do you trust what they're doing now? But these things happen historically, and we're not even going back that far. We're talking about in the lifetime of our parents or grandparents. Some of this, how about Katrina? In our lifetime. Nobody in their right mind can believe Katrina happened by natural causes. They blew up the levee. The government attacks us. How we don't understand that? It just don't make sense. But why? But even with Tulsa, if you ask people like, so y'all know they bombed Tulsa, who do you think did it? The local yucks, the poor white folks? They had the bombs. Who do you really ask them? Who do you think did the bombing? And I challenge you to just ask friends, family. Who do you think did the bombing in that Tulsa story? Who did it? Who financed it? Who did it? Who actually flew the planes? Because if they think some local daggone farmer did it, what do they think? Who who has that? Who has that skill and knows that kind of equipment? Do they actually believe it was done by the locals? They got that shit together? Do they actually think that the locals just flying planes like that without the government not caring and nothing? Without the government actually condoning and actually putting that on? See, that's the thing. When are we going to start looking at things like it is and just like stop taking snapshots of history? It's more than just, wow, Tulsa, we had a whole Wall Street that got destroyed. No. Who did that to us, really? Who wanted the Wall Street gone? The rednecks, the so called hate groups, always get the hit. But trust and believe, they're not the trigger. They ain't holding the trigger on this. We need to start realizing who's holding the guns. Right now, they trying to put shortages in our face. Shortages. We supposed to be really afraid of all the shortages. So they're killing us with gas shortages. It taking you triple, quadruple the amount to put gas in your tank because of all the shortages. You're paying more and more for everything that you might need. Baby formula, food, paper. And they're gonna just make the food disappear. They trying to pay the farmers to burn the crops. So this shortage can continue into the wintertime. When we're all going to be more concerned about food because in the summertime everybody's trying to just be light, easy, have some fruit, light stuff, ice drinks, whatever. You're not eating heavy. But come daggone wintertime, if the crops are destroyed, what then? How are you going to have a good holiday season? Now, they may not be able to pull that off because the stores love our money and the greed, the fact that they'll have shortages, that won't work out financially with the whole, because, the government is being run by this whole globalist and this whole, materialistic agenda. So would they want to pull this off when they look, these companies are looking forward to making the most money? I don't think they're going to manage that. A shortage during the summertime, like I said, is not that effective. But the fact that they're trying to tell people to daggone these farmers to destroy crops, that's a problem. That they either need to destroy the crops or that they will destroy their crops with Agent Orange. That's a problem. Why would they do that? It ain't the first time. Most of the things we suffer through in this world are not natural. Most of the things we actually suffer through, all the stresses we had, the 9 to 5, the 7-day week, the you got to pay this, the mortgages, the rent hikes, all these things that they make. The fact that your house is not as worth as much as it should be if it was in another part of town, these redlining, that's all, everything we really suffer is developed by man. It's not natural. The fact that we don't have more money because our ancestors don't have the land and the riches and the minerals and the resources that have been stolen from us. That also is not, that's also part of our daggone harder life now. Immigration, they got all these people coming in. Biden is just saying that he's going to have these immigrants move from where they're storing them by the border towns, like where is it? Mexico City, and Texas, and also in Arizona and all them places to the end, deeper into the country. They want to bring those immigrants deeper in. Immigration, when we already got people living in the streets in these high numbers in a country and a time when there's no excuse for homelessness. There should not be homelessness. We have vacant buildings. We have vacant land. We have people living in houses that could house so many people. Remember what France did? Got rid of all their freaking kings and queens and aristocracy, and they end up having freaking all kinds of people living in their houses and shit. They would have like 12 families in one house that belong to one person. That's the thing. That's why we have that, because of the greed, the globalist greed. That's why we're in this predicament. It's not because Halito. It's not because it's nature. It's because of man's globalist greed that we're in this situation. And then people are fed up, especially after having lost a job or, working at home or different situations, having people work around these people and being petty and all the ignorance. A lot of people are fed up with that stuff. So, people are changing in how they want to work and who they want to work with and all that different things. And you have to also understand a lot of these work situations, they're problematic because these people that they have running this country, these are insecure people. And these people that they have running these daggone companies and these management jobs, they are insecure. And I'm going to say the real thing about them, they're mediocre. They're insecure and they're mediocre people. And the mediocrity is what is choking us to death. Because these mediocre people they find us to be challenging. And they find us, we actually enhance their insecurity. They are freaking They are very much intimidated by us, the mediocre people. And there's a predominance of mediocre people running things you'll find in this world today. So when you go to your job and you're like, why is it so much? Why is it a pain in the butt? Why? Because they're mediocre and they see your shine. They see your light. They see your energy. They see your abilities. They see your brilliance and they can't handle it. They can't handle seeing you in the same place as them. They can't handle it. Hey, Brandon. They can't handle it because the indigenous people, we have this connection with the planet that they don't have. We have these gifts that they don't have. We have these natural abilities, natural intellect, natural critical thinking that they lack. And it intimidates. So their response to that, whether they be melanated foreigners or unmelanated foreigners, whatever they be, is to dim your light, to really pretty much knock your lights out if they can. They want to shut you down. We have people that are always trying to make us less. And then when you see these stars, they want to show you in the media that they can elevate these daggone rap people or whoever, these movie stars, and then just at a switch of a button, they can take them out. Why? Because that's what they do to us every day. They try to do that. They try to chip away at our brilliance, our light, and our abilities in these jobs and these schools every day. Your child comes in there with all this brilliance and creativity and thinking, and they strike it down. They strike it down. They whittle away at it, and we're not even aware of it because we're not there to hear it. We need to understand how intimidating we are on the planet. We intimidate. We are the landlords, and that's why we have all these things. That's why we have police permitted murder. And that doesn't just mean the police are murdering you. That means they permit us to be murdered by each other, anybody. It is permitted. Killing indigenous people is not a crime. It's never been, and it is not now.
And when you stop doing it, watch the world change. See, everybody relies on us to dog each other out. And we argue. So that's why next week is going to be important, y'all. Got to stop calling yourself something you're not. because when you call yourself something you're not, all these people that are coming over here pick it up. And
Right.
you may not know what the word does because African American doesn't know anything really.
Right.
They're teaching you to call yourself words that if I called your mama that, you kick my ass.
Right. And I'm sitting up there doing this paperwork for the indigenous one, and I'm printing it up. And there's a nail tech that's working on my daughter's nails in the other room in the office, and she's asking about this. Me and my daughter got into it a little bit because she was offended because I said that the girl was she's an immigrant. She's not an immigrant, Ma. I was like, I know she's an immigrant because I said to her. I said, well, you have to go where your grandparents are, your grandmothers. Where are they? I said, that is where you need to look for your lineage. I said, if it's over in the islands, then you need to look to see if you are an Arawak. Are you an Arawak? Are you an African? Or maybe you're a Black European. I don't know, but you have to do that research to find out what your real lineage is. Because let me tell you, they know who we are. It's just about you putting yourself in the right position to declare yourself who you really are that aligns with the facts, boo. And so if you can't fake it, but this child was ready to fake it. She saw the paperwork I was putting out for the indigenous one, and she was like, "What is that? How do you get that? How did your mom? What does she do?" So my daughter was like, "Ask her," and she asked me, and I was like, "Look, I don't know where your people are from." She's like that, but she said something about the islands. I mentioned, I said, well, if you're an island, if you're from the islands, and that's you need to have that information. That's where you need to go for your land. That's where you need to look for your information. That's where you need to organize yourself as. I said, being from the islands, you're not gonna save. That's not gonna negotiate a save of taxes in the United States. You need to go back and get your rights and your benefits where your benefits are. This is where we are from. Therefore, our benefits are here. See, people want to come into this country and automatic jock your daggone position and get everything you ain't excited to do. See, I told my daughter. She said, "Mom, you don't know. She's from Long Island." I said, she is a immigrant. Don't nobody say they from Long Island. I said, if she would say, my people said they came from here, or they're this kind of Indian, or they're from there, she would let me know. Oh, we always been in America. No, she ain't that. I said, she's an immigrant. I said, and as a matter of fact, she would have clarified her position when I said something about the islands. Said, no, I ain't got no people from the islands. I said, look, child, when she talks to her grandmother has a different accent. She has a patois. Her grandmother doesn't sound like your grandmother. I said, this we must be sure of because when they come in, the fact that she comes in and thinks she should have not pay taxes, hello? You just got here. Why you think you need a tax break? You just got here. You are benefiting. You're taking money from our pockets. You're all up in our economy, and yet you want a tax benefit too. The predatory behavior of even thinking that way is not indigenous. We're not like that. We're just not like that. We would not dare go someplace and think we have the audacity to be that way. That's how you know they different. I'm just saying. Anyway, we have to understand that what we have, people want immediately what we have. We got it and we sitting on it. Like we got all this time in the world to claim it. You don't. You really don't. We had a Chinese disease aimed to attack us. Now, how come we didn't even question the fact that why would a disease that came from China kill Negroes of all people? Negroes. Negroes are more sickly than white folks? Since when? We got more heart disease than them? Really? No. We got more diabetes than them. Shit, they got more kids with diabetes than anybody. So why did it want to attack us first? That didn't even make any sense. That alone should have made the whole country of folk say, oh, hell no. But no, it didn't. Because they kept throwing numbers of bodies dying, and ain't nobody ever thought about bodies dying in mass numbers before. But bodies die in mass numbers all the time. Y'all just don't see it because you don't work in healthcare or you don't work with death. But just because the daggone politicians on TV trying to act like it's a daggone sport and calling off numbers like it's a daggone event, like in the daggone some daggone arena, y'all want to act like it's the end of the world.
Reading, I know what you're reading. I'm gonna put it up on the screen.
As
And
people from the islands are immigrants, so are you, lady. How are you not an immigrant? If your people were not here in 1845 or 1760 or 1640 when my people were here, how are you the same as me? You're not the same. Your history is over there. See, this is the whole thing. You have a whole country. It's not a park over there. It's not a port of America. It's not an, it's not like a adjunct. It's a whole country. Right? Am I confused?
no, you know what? You know at least, and see this, and this is why next week is
It's
gonna be.
a whole country. This is my whole country that all my history is at. How you gonna sit and ride on my back in my whole country? No, bruh, it's not the same. I'm not going over there. I'd love to have your trees and fruits and your island beaches and claim that land as mine, but it's not mine, boo. Same way you can't claim shit here. Go home and get your own.
Do you think it's the fear? Because I mean, brothers really like to confuse that situation. Don't know what the hell they be talking about, or do you think they're just trying to bring confusion so they don't have to focus on going back home and making it right?
And you crazy. Becoming a U.S. citizen by choice is retarded because the U.S. is killing niggas. So you coming to the U.S. to choose to become a citizen is retarded. And you know what? It shows you ain't us because we would not choose to be treated the way we are treated, and you are not treated the way we are treated. So that's what. Why? Because they know you're not the same. So stop trying to pretend to be something you're not, sir. And I don't need to prove anything to a flusarot. Please get out of my face, man. Because you're from daggone Haiti. You can't sit up there and talk to me any old kind of way. I got Haitian people in my family. They're not me. They don't have my history. They're still not me. They got their own country. Get what is yours. Fix what is yours. We got enough to fix and deal with on our own. You can't hitch a ride here. Just like I can't go to Haiti and get shit. I can't go to daggone, Trinidad and claim anything unless the Acamax happen to be, was over there back in the 1500s. I can't claim nothing over there. And you obviously don't know me, sir, because you wouldn't dare say that to me. You don't know my history. You don't know nothing about me. Google me, nigga. Google me, okay? Dummy. Anyway, 5G radiation. So now they turn up the 5G. You know, in the neighborhood, I don't know in your neighborhoods, they giving out cell phones, just giving them to the people. If you ain't got no money, and especially if you ain't got the broker you are, they just gonna hand you a cell phone. They want you to have a 5G radiation attracting and conducting cell phone in your hand, the broker you are. So yeah, You need to, yeah, they're giving out, they're spiking up that whole 5G radiation thing. That's about to be a thing, all in the hood. Oh, oh, now y'all, look, I have, like I said, I have family that are from Haiti. I have family, I have sister friends that are from Jamaica. I have family that's from, Trinidad, uh, 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 different islands. But that's not the thing. I'm just telling you, your history is your history. You have a whole country that has had things stolen, has stolen things from you. That's where you go to get what's yours. It's not how is that hateful? No, you're just being lazy. It's not hateful to tell you to go home and get what's yours, and then we got to handle what is ours. That's like me going to Hawaii and trying to get some stuff over there. I'm not Hawaiian. I'm not Hawaiian. I may even live. What if I lived the last 30 years in Hawaii? That still don't make me Hawaiian. I don't have a right to get what they got going on, what they're fighting for over there. I need to go back to Virginia and get what's mine. To Virginia, get what's mine. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, there's a predatory spirit in people that leave their homeland and immigrate to take advantage of things that we have died. We are continuously being slaughtered for. It's a very predatory spirit. And let's be honest, that's what it is. They don't want to put anything into it. They don't want to risk anything for our fight. They just want to benefit. And quite honestly, we're over it. We're over them and we're over it. We're over them and their daggone tackiness. And we're over it. You know? Well, you know what? That's why they all need to head home. And all their best and their brightest need to head home, and they need to organize themselves. They need to take over because because they have ratchet leaders. They need to go to France. They need to meet up with them damn French people and tell them French people to get out of their country. And they need to get them sorry ass leaders that they got over there and get rid of sorry ass leaders. They need to take a hold of their country. They've done it before, so they brag on it, right? That's what they say. They've done it. So why didn't it stick? I mean, if they did it before, then they go do it again. I don't know. I mean, don't come boo-hooing over here trying to get stuff. I don't understand that. Anyway, I'm over it. I'm over people trying to hitch a ride on us when we got shit to think about and to do ourselves. We cannot have these people hanging on us. The other thing is the media mind control. They make it so you can't say nothing about nothing. You can't say nothing about alphabet people. They make it as pansexuality a thing where they try to, depopulate, destroy our children, you know. Oh my God, my sister was sent to the hospital. Lord Jesus. Anyway, uh terrible. Anyway, so this plan B. Oh, y'all know they're trying to get rid of all birth control. They don't want any birth control now because they want to make sure that all the white babies come in. They got all these Ukrainians. You do understand that these Ukrainians, that's just about getting these Ukrainian women in here, right? Because for over 40 years, they've been trying to date these Ukrainian women in the United States. All these white men and these black men been trying to get Ukrainian wives, right? These Ukrainians been making a whole economy out of these daggone lonely men. And they trying to get these Ukrainian women. This whole war, I know this sounds ridiculous and it may sound ridiculous, but I wouldn't be surprised. This whole war was about just getting some white babies made, getting some Ukrainians in here where they can get some more white folks in here and make some white babies. That's all. You can't justify it, but now you can justify and just open the doors, letting all the Ukrainians pour in, and they can make all the white babies. What's the first thing they did? Get rid of daggone any kind of abortion. So the Ukrainian women come in, can't abort your babies. And now they don't want to have any birth control. So Ukrainian women coming in, they can't even have birth control to stop any babies. They want a baby, they want to make some white baby factories. And this daggone war in the Ukraine was just to pour in white Ukrainian DNA so they can make some white folks. And I know that sounds crazy, but I guarantee you there is some credibility in what I'm saying.
No, it doesn't
Anyway,
sound crazy. That's about par for core. It's just
right,
it's like you said when you started. We just don't. Why would they do that? That's how
right,
that's how the African American attitude is. I don't
right.
believe that. I don't believe
Uh-huh.
they do that.
Right, right. Why? But why would they do that? Oh, they want to because there are no white folks. Do you understand? One of the stars of like the soap opera stars, they son just overdosed in his car. They ain't saying it. They ain't admitting it. They ain't still ain't saying what killed him. But anybody that died in the car, y'all know that's an overdose. Y'all know it. So these white men of privilege. I mean, they showed him the last time he got together with his family at their little camp house. It wasn't a camp house. It was a big old ginormous house with a big old pond, lake, and big old giant swings. And him and his brothers on the giant, adult swings. Like they were huge swings. They sitting there swinging on the swings and shit. That shit should have helped get his little depression together, but I guess the swing didn't help his ass. But anyway, basically, they're living a life of, elite. They're Hollywood people. They're privileged people. And yet life he wasn't shit to him. He had to freaking overdose himself. He had to kill himself.
Who was this?
That's the thing. They are very fragile. And they're very, very, very weak. And they're very, 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 very um mediocre. And they feel threatened very, very easily. Easily intimidated. It's
Who,
a
who are you
problem.
talking about?
Huh?
Who are you talking about?
You know who I'm talking about. Them daggone pale people. They are very, very, very
No, no,
fragile.
I'm talking about who you say overdosed.
Oh, it's some I don't know. I'll be watching the little news feeds. And so one of these soap opera is a soap opera couple. They both were soap opera stars. And they have a son who was an adult. And he, they said he died in his car. And I'm like, died in his car? Like, yeah, right. He was like 27. I'm like, oh, he overdosed. What the hell? They're not gonna say, oh, he's overdosed. Oh no, because we gotta keep it pure. See, that's the thing. They do everything to keep it pure, keep the image pure for these pale people. But for us, everything's about sully us, dirty us, make us look like we're vermin, like we're low, like we're just scum, like just ruin our reputations at any chance we can. That's the name of the game. But they had a son. He overdosed this week because you know these young men, there's not many of them, first of all, and the ones that are here are very fragile. They're very fragile and easily intimidated. They don't have that many babies. They don't have that many people. They're afraid. And even they will tell you that the worst thing in the world is a lonely, afraid white man. The worst thing. Now, about these okay, I'm going to these daggone shootings because these shootings, let me tell you, if you Google shootings, like mass murders. They've been tracking this for the past like forever, I guess, but at least the past like 4 or 5 years. And I think I'll see a whole bunch of mixed babies. Well, I don't know. That's possible. I don't know, child. But anyway, uh, these shootings, they track it. So what I have seen, if you Google 2021, 2020, it was 600 and some mass murders that they claim are mass murders last year. What? 600 and some? Well, if that's the truth, we're at the half mark right now. If that's true, there's no increase. because we should be 300 murders in right now, at least. And I think we're 200 and something. So, I mean, they just like with the pandemic, where pneumonia kills people every year in large numbers, they exaggerate existing conditions, right? They exaggerate these existing conditions, and then the numbers, because you don't know and you haven't been looking at them in the past, they look very, very scary. But they call every murder that's above 2 people a mass murder. Even a 2 murder person, I think, is considered a mass murder, to tell you the truth. So they call a lot of things a mass murder. And they've been doing it for a minute to I guess to lead up to scaring us. But if you look in the numbers, I can show you 600 and some last year. I think it was 650 something, and then 601, I think, the year before that. We got laws and police that have our kids with police in their schools already creating a pipeline for our babies to go directly to jail. If anything, y'all need to be at your school board, contacting your school board and figuring out why y'all so afraid that you think you need police in your school to make your babies prisoners, because they're definitely not protecting them from being shot. That's not happening. How about the toxic food and the water and the hair cosmetics, and God knows what's in the hair weave? How about the bad alcohol they sell in our neighborhoods and all the bad things they sell at every gas station and convenience store? How about the Family Dollars? That's just demonic. The fact that they sell whole groceries in the Family Dollar, they trying to kill people with the Family Dollars for sure. That's a problem. And then I didn't put on there the plasma centers and how they're trying to get our blood to make all kinds of drugs to use against us. Those plasma centers are in all our neighborhoods, including in the Mexican neighborhoods. But the Mexicans never want to continue. They don't never want to complain about nothing, because they like to they're worse than us. They really like to pretend ain't nothing going on, and they're getting lynched, like, completely. They're getting annihilated, but they'll never say a word about it. Yeah, mass shootings are just to try to take the guns out of our hands, to take our rights away, to make us beg for somebody to protect us, like as if the government is gonna be protecting us any old how. Like, there's no way. They're not here to do that. They don't protect us. That's not what they do. They don't do that. They're not here for our protection. They're here for our law to create fear and to create a condition so that they can enslave us. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to create a condition where we walk right into slavery. We're already slaves, but you know what I mean. We become even more in this quicksand of control. We become even more entrapped by this quicksand of control. That's what they want. They're not trying to make sure our population grows, because, like I said, they got all these vaccines that's going to decrease our population. So they're not worried about the Negroes. They got plans for the Negroes' birth control, so they can free up all the birth. They can cancel all the birth control and all the abortion they want, so the white folks are free to grow. Grow, white folks, grow. That's what they do. Homelessness, rent hikes, tax hikes, gentrification. We got a mayor in Atlanta that's putting money to move people out of the city, just boosting them on out for the benefit of gentrification. That's what our own people do. That's why they're happy to put our daggone coonish people in office. Oh, maybe I'm not allowed to say that. Sambo folk in office. They want our Sambos in office. Yes, they do. Bojangles, come on in. Come on in office. Foreign people, come on in, Winsome. Winsome don't care about me. She don't care about no Akamat. Of course they want her to be in office. That's what they do, right? They want someone who is going to work with the agenda they have, right? That's what they're going to do. Homelessness, rent strikes, pharma, all that stuff. Fentanyl. Ain't nobody in the hood manufacturing fentanyl. Y'all got a fentanyl man in your neighborhood? As far as I know, it's manufactured by Big Pharma. So why is it that we have overdoses and deaths from fentanyl? Who's putting that there? Well, who's putting these things in our neighborhood? Who is making who are taking these mandatory injections? Who are encouraging the guns and violence, the music that is and the satanic worship and pansexuality that's being pushed on our youth? Who's doing this? Who's creating this? Who's making this something that is desirable? See, this is crazy. That Old Town Road, oh my God, children, little babies, act like they was losing their mind on that song. Oh, they knew it was something that would make the little children dance. They know what makes little children dance. They know this. There's a science to that. They know what works. They know what works. They know what the plan is. It's about getting the babies to be hooked. That's what the plan is. Hook the babies, and then you turn them into the demon that he really is, right? Then you got him wearing all kinds of panties and stilettos and all things that he was meant to be wearing. And your children are like, oh, I want that. I want to dress, mommy. That's what your son's supposed to say, right? Because he sees his Old Town Road, a favorite music star wearing a dress and high heels. Next thing you know, that's what your son wants on. How is that? That's what they do. They get them hooked on these people as child innocent stars singing kiddie music. And then they turn the demon out, and then your child is hooked on a demon. Hooked on a demon.
Let me ask you this, Lisa. How is it? How is it that we don't never see this stuff going on? Like, like I say, this shit is happening right in front of our face, and it'll be 10 years down the line before we say, oh yeah. And we support it. And all this bullshit that's going on, we support it. All these immigrants coming over selling their wares, they're making their money off of us. Isn't it at some time that we have to take responsibility for our actions?
We are responsible for all of this that's going on because it is our job to be on the offense and defense. So yeah, we need to be noticing this music that they hooking your babies to. Don't fall for that. These they playing it all the time. They playing. You can't subject your stuff to that. And then when you see them make that Nas X turn, that's right, exactly, pregnant. Come on, disgusting, disgusting. Oh, you're not even allowed to say it's disgusting because why? Oh, that's hate, right? Are you freaking crazy? That's the way they have us being these days. We can't even be in opposition to some of this stuff. If we are in opposition, they're gonna shut you down, like they try to shut down that comedian. What's his name? Um,
Dave Chappelle.
yeah, yeah. They try to shut him down because he just act a little bit like he wasn't on the. He had to be. You have to be like this. You gotta be kissing this stuff up. You gotta be lapping it up. And he was acting a little bit too neutral to cold. And that neutral to cold attitude, oh, they shut him down on that stuff. They shut him down because you gotta drink that stuff up. You gotta go 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 go. You gotta gulp it up. That's what they want him to do.
And so that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's our problem. And I think that's how come we always, we get kicked in the ass because we go with whatever they put out. Whatever put out, the majority of are behind what they say.
Well, they know the formula as to what we're gonna like. So I mean, I'm not gonna blame everybody for getting caught up in a beat or whatever. But the reality is when you see which way they going, put the brakes on, and not just put the brakes on, put the brakes on the kids. Say, look, this boy is confused. We know that this stuff is confusion. Okay, they may want to push this stuff as normal, but that there are a whole lot of people that's getting sex changes and they're regretting it, but they not talking about that shit, are they? Right, because we got a media that's controlled and that's controlling our minds. So we're not going to get that information about all these people that are walking around with, dicks and they don't want it no more, or they got daggone titties and a vagina and their dick is gone and they sad. We're not getting that information because it's a mental illness. It's a mental illness that you're not at all okay with what body you're in, unless you have like your hermaphrodite, where you actually don't, um, like you actually have like women parts, like you could be born internally with different parts and stuff like that. Like I understand that, I've seen that. Yeah, that happens for real. I understand that. However, if you're not that, and you're not that, and you're sitting up there like it's okay for you to be um wanting to be something that you're not and changing your body parts and cutting off your body parts. Come on. How are we okay with feeling that this is a normal process, that you gotta be a Frankenstein to be all right? When did this become all right? It's not. Not that we hate, not that we hate effeminate men or people that are gay. We love people that are good and that people are that are right and doing what's right. But the real gay men that I know ain't trying to be a woman. They're not trying to be a woman. They don't understand this either. They like to sleep with men, but that don't make them a female. They're not trying to covet being a woman. It's called in the Bible covetousness, right? You're coveting something you don't have. It's ill. It's a dysfunction. I want to be claim a woman, but you don't got no womb? Come on now. And then you got people, what were you telling me? You saw this interview with all these women, educated women trying to explain what a woman is.
Right.
And they stammering like they Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, if you guys ever get a chance to watch a documentary called "What Is a Woman," I mean, you can find it online somewhere. And a guy is asking college professors, doctors, PhDs, "What is a woman?" And nobody knows. You should see everybody's face when he asked the question. You should see everybody's face. What's a woman? I mean, what do you say? Not what you want the world to, what the world wants you to say. What do you say? Lady's a woman who has stretch marks on her hips and belly because she had a baby. That's a simple definition.
Someone with the potential to give life. Maybe you're not a mother, but you have that
No, no, no,
potential.
no,
Someone
no.
who bleeds or used to bleed. Someone who, come on, someone who, come on now. This is the thing. They don't want to say the wrong thing because we have made everything an agenda, a political agenda. It ain't real. It's all about we care what certain people think, and our thinking is being controlled
What's a
by
woman?
people who don't like you, who don't like humans. They don't like us.
What's a woman?
And they, and it,
Somebody can
huh?
give birth to a child. You know, there's millions of things what women do that men can't do. I don't
It's
get it.
crazy.
Where these guys are going in fighting these women and MMA boxing and I don't see how people are confused. I really don't. I think it really gets to the point where the people who's being told all this stuff, you have to somehow say, hell no. It's like the dude talking about the hockey team in Tampa Bay. We not wearing that pride shit.
Right.
And everybody stood up and the truth, but everybody just sat, got their head down, won't say
They
nothing.
they force it on people. They force this stuff. They shoving it down people's throats. And the funny thing is, and all this is really all an attempt to get us to not reproduce, to make a whole bunch of it people who can't reproduce in our community. And the people that's really being affected are them. Once again, because they always had a predominance of gay men in their community. Most white men are ACDC. They're a little gay. Very few of their men are actually straight. So by them pushing this agenda, all they're doing is pushing out that whole tendency within their community. It's harming them more than it ever will harm us. Because when our boys are boys, you can't make them gay. You can't influence our real boys into gayness. Like, if they have that tendency, fine. But you're not going to influence us, our boys, into gayness. It's not going to happen. Even the fact that they give off all this estrogen in our food to make our boys gay and feminize our boys, they still are just rough and tough with it, and they still like their girls. It's just the way it is, right? So I mean, that's the thing. So what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do with all this stuff? What we need to do is to keep this information handy when we're talking to our friends and family about, look, y'all, this is not just an isolated thing. Look, y'all, they are constantly throwing all this stuff at us. They want us gone because of who we are in this country. And we don't know it, but at any point in our history, Had we actually understood thoroughly who we are in this country, we could have stopped this. We could have stopped a lot of what happened to us because we know, wait a minute, this is our land. Wait a minute. Think about it. At any point, we could have said, this is our land, man. No, the redlining would have never happened because we would have been like, look, how you gonna redline? This is all indigenous land. You can't redline shit. You can't say we don't want Indians anywhere. You don't get to do that. This is our country. Do you understand how disarming it is when you actually do understand who you are and you're able to actually tell people that? Do you understand the look on those people's faces when they know that you know? Yeah, that's what they don't want to happen. So as long as your cousins and kids and your friends are still walking around in the daggone days of being black or African American, they're not going to be able to disarm anybody. They're not going to be able to change their standing anywhere. We have to know who we are and be able to claim our true identity as who we are in order to change our position in the planet. And we're not the only ones doing it. People are fighting in Hawaii, like I said. They're fighting in, and of course, I talked last week about them fighting in Australia. They're fighting all over the planet for position, for control, to retake what has been stolen. Isn't it funny how they can go to Africa and say we're sorry for the colonialism, but they don't just come with a check? Where the check? Just come with it. Don't say sorry. Show sorry. Don't say sorry. Show sorry. Where's the gold? Where's the diamonds? Where's the, uranium? Whatever you stole, where's that? Where's the platinum? Can I get platinum back, please? Where's all that platinum you done? Send that back. Bring that back. Give that back to me. Oil, we'll take that back. I don't need you to say you're sorry. Your sorry words don't feel nothing. They don't fulfill, or fix anything. Show it. So, anyway, but yeah, so basically, this is a thing. When we have to try whatever we can to get our families to understand that, hey, look, there's so much riding on the fact that we don't understand who we are. There's so much riding on the fact that we're not organized as the real people that we are, like our real history. They are banking on that we don't get stuff together. It's up to us to get it together. We can do this. And it's work, but it's so doable. It's like so doable. So next week we're gonna go through it just like last weekend, or just last weekend we spent a day and just dedicated a day to going through. Let's find you. Let's find your great grandma's people.
And
Let's
when
find them and let's get you to repatriate who they are. Let's get the process together. Let's get the paperwork together. Let's get it all made. Let's get it let's get your freedom, man. Everybody get
and
their freedom.
invite everybody you know too, because you're gonna want to see this. When you see
Right.
it, you're gonna be like, all you guys who've been calling yourselves Africans and all this, it's not to make you feel like an ass, but you're gonna feel like it when you realize
Right.
how close you are to yourself. But you just keep looking away, not trying to be you. And
And
that's
they
what,
still use it.
yeah.
Right. And your names, these names are still being used that are your people's names, like the county, like if you look under the land, land, the land was under the same name as the people. The people's names are still being utilized as the even in the GLO, the GLO, the GLO, the land grant that was connected to an ancestor of his was still had the indigenous names connected to that county. They still use the same names. They know who you are. It's like pop. It's not even like popcorn. It's like they got damn government markers written down here. Look here. Look here. We're not looking. It's like they got everything showing you this way to who you are. Look at this way. No, and then go that way. It's right. It's all there. We just gotta look.
And you know who put that stuff there? Your ancestors did,
Right.
knowing you would find it. And we just looking all off. That's why we suffer, because we're not even looking. And other
And it's
people
just
come over, and that's what she's saying about these foreigners coming over. They know they would do that at home. People do it at their home, so they know they're gonna do it over here because they know you ain't looking at nothing.
right.
So since you ain't looking at it, why not take it?
And they really want to too.
They
And they
really
don't
want.
think nothing about the time that it would take to just do the little bit of research and get that done. Shoot, they do that 30 times over. They don't care, 100 times over. They'll do whatever because they know that is a life changer. They know it's a life changer.
One more thing too, and this is what I'm saying: call yourself what your people call themselves. Call them what they call themselves. They didn't call themselves Aboriginal. They didn't call themselves Black. They were a people. They were attached to the planet. They had whole cities and towns named after you. You don't want to hear that. You want to hear that you came over here from Africa somewhere. When you say that out loud, that's what you're telling the world. And they coming over here just picking up your shit. That's on you.
Yep. They think that they have a right to anything you have a right to. Plus, they got this whole world where you go over there and try to dip in their damn playthings and go into their private little clubs or go and hang out with their schoolmates. They're gonna look at you like, girl, you don't know my patois. You're not part of this. You don't eat this. You're not eating porridge with us. Like, nah. But yet they want to be all up in your Kool-Aid. They want you to take every part of your culture and excavate it, and they get to take it. But you try to go over there and do that to them, they're gonna look at you like, excuse you? No, it's not gonna happen. You're not gonna get to claim that, even if it's a raggedy hut. You're not gonna get to claim a raggedy hut over there. Nothing. Nothing. They'll come there with damn machetes at your head. All we're doing is saying no, it's not acceptable, and they want to get all up in arms at us. But they would come at us with machetes if we tried to take some of that, even if it was a raggedy hut. Trust and believe.
So you see, that's what I'm saying. A lot of it is on us. Because we check out this, talking to a homeboy last night. He lived in Wisconsin. His pops just died. But he was always telling me that they had land where they had a natural spring. I was like, dude, water. Pops just died. It was on 80 acres of land. Guess how much they sold it for? You're going to slap me when I tell you. $50,000.
Stupid. That's stupid.
I'm
Wow.
like, you're kidding me. $50,000.
Wow. 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 And that was nothing. How many kids are there?
4.
So that's nothing, right? That's nothing.
What, $10,000 a piece?
Nah, I think yeah. Well, that's not gonna be taxed because it's a gift. Yeah, and that's nothing.
That's gonna be gone.
Why? Just think of all that land they could have done things with. There, that's so ignorant. That man, see, because like even my ancestors in the records, they knew the value of their land. They knew that their land could get them out of debt. See, you could take your land, you could use it as collateral and get things. Then you get the things, then you pay back the loan and you keep the land. That is what we knew. The value of the land, that it can actually be used as collateral to enrich your life and to get things done and to build. You don't get rid of that. You pay off that little debt that you got for, using your land as collateral, and then you go ahead and you keep your land because you know that it can be passed on and on and on, and that can be done over and over again. But evidently, they didn't realize that they could do more with that land as collateral than they could ever do with $10,000 a piece.
That's why it's very important, and this is why they disconnect you from the land. That's why they have you looking at Africa. That's why they have you looking in Israel, in all these places. You won't even look at to where your grandmom and granddaddy from. That's not on. So you got to stop saying this is what they doing to us. That shit's on us. I mean, seriously? And we still doing it today. So, Lisa.
And trust, that's why they encourage them to come over here too. They encourage them Africans. Them Africans is crazy. The only person, Dr. Moonby is the only person that says anything about the fact that they need to come back home and fight for their stuff, but ain't nobody listening. She got getting her little farm going. That's what they all need to be doing. Fighting. If they need to be the change they want to see. That's what she says, and that's the right. We all need to be the change we want to see. Yeah, you need to reclaim Tennessee. What is that? Not just, well, I mean, just take one step at a time, Joshua, really. Okay. All of Tennessee. All right, let's slow down. Like, what I mean? Let's start with something workable, like 100, couple 800 acres, maybe, a few 800 acres, even 500 acres, even, that, let's start with something we can work with. You got to have realistic goals, realistic times. That's how we start with. We start with doing things that we know that are real. We start with working with the actual genealogy that we know we have. We start with working out with the actual land patents and land grants that are actually connected to our people, and that's how we win, because we deal with reality and we do real things. That's how it is. And if enough people as a collective start doing real things, then yes, the process will be that we will be able to reclaim our kingdoms, because it'll just be that. It'll be like, what are you doing? Like, we're all here as a collective. We all are, we all are people that are in treaty with each other. We are working with each other. We are in unison. They cannot deny what the truth is. And they can't deny these nations. So this is a reality. Oh, Cherokee, baby. Joshua, you got a lot of work to do. Cherokee is you know what? It's a government term. You got to go a little deeper than that, than Cherokee, especially in Tennessee. You got to get a little deeper. You got to find your real people with their real names. Everybody uses these umbrella terms. Even my people said Cherokee. But then we're actually Cherokee, but then that's the umbrella term. But then we're also part of the Powhatan Confederacy, another large, broad, sweeping term. But the actual people that are of my county are Akamaki. So, okay, good, Joshua. All right. Okay, so we're moving on. So next week, that's the goal. Get your stuff, get your pens and pencils ready, be ready, have your questions ready. You're gonna see the actual process of becoming who you are and how that works, how it can be done, and in a real way. And and why that's what we all should be working towards if it's possible. So I'm done with that. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thanks, Lise. So let me just say something else. One more thing about what she was talking about when you working with the family. When you're doing that with the family, and it's just finding out where you are, and when you say you're related to some people, you're gonna see that you're gonna have some of the same characteristics as some of the people in your family. If it's your mother's brothers, kids, your aunt's daughter, or whatever, you guys are going to have some of the same characteristics. You guys are on the same page. You're with that now with a lot of your cousins anyway. You have cousins that you down with. They like your brother. Get with those people. And all the people that you know that is listening to this, have them come too. Because when you learn this stuff, you're going to be like, what? Is that easy? So we're going to check you guys out next week. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. And we'll see you next week. Peace.